Veteran's Guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's Thursday on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Again, the grill off tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Get here. Prove your worth. Prizes, goodies, the whole shebangy bang. Come on out. Fire your grill up. Show us your goodness. Everybody said they're king grillers. Tomorrow. We'll find it out. It's going to be a good day. We also have to thank the folks from Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. The hot butter wings, man. Come on. No joke. We'll check in with Charles tomorrow and let him tell us what's on for the weekend. They have a busy weekend with stuff going on. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. If you want to chime in and add to the conversation, if you have questions, you have comments, you have thoughts, share them. You can follow us on the Starter Heyman video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter live. We're up. We're rolling. We're talking fan bases. We're talking who I should. I'm in the NFL fan transfer portal officially. I made my announcement yesterday. So Jay Foreman, just in the pitch of the world, made his bid and said that the Buffalo Bills would be very accepting and accommodating. They feel like my talent would fit what they do, who they are.
I think he damn near made me a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah, he put in the work, man.
It's crazy.
He put in the work. That was gospel.
Every other fan base has some work to do.
Yeah, that was church. There was gospel in that. But I have a sneaky suspicion that our next guest may have something to say about that.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
I'm not sure that doesn't sell. There's some selling involved there. There's some real pitch to that. Let's bring in Barry Thompson. Let's bring in the coach. BT, what's happening?
What up, DP? Are you with me?
DP, are you with me?
Hey, what's all this stuff? I heard Jack Del Rio apologize. I thought it was all over. You apologize.
You're a funny dude. You are a hilarious dude. I just have to say.
Right. Let me get to it. I'll do it quick. I didn't hear Jay's, but I'll put my best foot forward.
Here we go.
Get your pens ready.
Here we go.
There is no other franchise that has an owner who has coached a championship and also been the owner of a championship. There's no other owner in the league that's been on the field as a coach and won a championship. That's Al Davis. We got history there. Mm-hmm. There's been no other owner that sued the NFL and won. Mm-hmm. Right, for the right for franchises to move. Mm-hmm. And you get to on the field, we got 3 Super Bowls. And if it wasn't for a couple of things, including Ray Lewis and his defense, we might have had more, but we'll leave that there. 28 Hall of Famers. And if you want excitement, I mean, you got the tuck rule play, you got the holy roller play, You got the sea of hands play. You even have the Heidi game. And I don't want to mention that dirty reception against Pittsburgh. You got John Madden. Come on. John Madden. Who's more pervasive in the history of football? He's a Raider. They hired the first black coach, Art Shell, first high-ranking female official, Amy Trask, first Latino coach, Tom Flores, who won the Super Bowl, by the way. Even hired a former Redskin, Reggie McKenzie, as a general manager. And something that the Raiders do, Al Davis never retired numbers because he didn't want to put any Raider above another Raider. I mean, come on, man. Come on. He said, you're all my children. You're all my children. We've got, in fact, it's poetry. And it's in Vegas. It turns out I'm working on a deal for your NIL money. I'm going to start a Vegas book club. Turns out people in Vegas read too.
Uh-oh.
So we get some books sold.
Yeah.
We get your NIL money.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a flagship of the Raider States. I'm talking to some people over there in the personnel department. I'm working on things. I'm working.
People in Vegas don't read unless it's up in lights. What are you talking about?
No. There's a population in Nevada just right outside of Vegas. They read, the normal people. They don't come. And by the way, the world comes to Vegas.
True.
World, what better kind of target-rich environment to infect them with love prints and impact and influence and take them home with them, spread it out to the internet. You'd be like the Johnny Appleseed of this new millennium of book reading. I'm just telling you. Yeah, that's where you need to plant yourself. That's it, man. I got it. Look, and last thing, all this uniforms, this form, the Raiders are traditional, black and silver. That's it, baby. That's all we rock. And black and silver is always in fashion. That's why I never changed.
I'm not mad at that. The book club thing, and then the flagship.
Yeah, but your quarterback.
Hey, this ain't show friends. This is business.
Yeah, but your quarterback wears eyeliner.
But his name is Derek.
What's that?
It is.
But his name is Derek.
Your quarterback wears eyeliner.
Who does? No. Marinovich, that's an experiment that didn't work. Every team goes through its fits and starts. I mean, we go down the list. I mean, there's a lot of franchises. We could list a lot of suspect people on the center. We got through it. We got a great leader right now, Derek Carr. I mean, this team went through some ups and downs. Head coaching change, still competitive. They're on the right track. Proud history, proud tradition. They're located in a brand new splashy stadium. The world can't. They go to Vegas. You got to gamble. Go here and this and that. You got to see a Raider game. It's an experience, man. And our fans don't wait for Halloween.
True.
We don't wait for Halloween.
True.
We all like to get dressed up. Every Sunday. Come on, let's get it on.
Barry, I was asked this question on the text line. It says, DP, how much NIL money do you need to wear a star on your hat?
Star.
Yeah.
Star.
How much money would it take?
No. I heard you. No stars, no Eagles, nothing. Star. Star. Get out of here.
Yeah.
There's the reason why the Dallas Cowboys used to scrimmage the Raiders all the time. Is that they knew who was real America's team. It was the Raiders. Look, what's that Lazarus poem about the Statue of Liberty? Give me your huddle masses and so the Raiders did that in football, right? They would take people that other people thought were rejects. Al Davis would say, "Come on in here," right? They would take things that were broken. Jim Plunkett was broken. Pull them in, right? Helped pull all these young coaches that nobody wanted to give a chance. He had a tradition of doing that. You pull them in there and said, "Hey, let's go make this." And plus, we got great nicknames. Come on, the Stork, the Twos. We got the Snake. Come on, man.
Otto.
Fred Wittenkoff would stick them.
Yeah. There's a lot.
The greatest stories.
There's a lot to that. There's a lot to that.
Come on.
Dusty says this, Barry, you just need to say, DP, I need you. He said the last time you said that, DP said okay and coached with you. So
listen to him. Remember how I signed on? I said, DP, are you with it? Whoa. I didn't hear an answer, DP. No, I'm just
He still has to use his other official visits, Barry. Come on.
Official visits. Now, sometimes you close that deal.
never let him leave.
You land at that school. It's got It's got the campus vibe that you want. It's got the right co-ed mix that you want. You love the coaches. You love the offense that they run. Talk about the vertical game. You love the uniforms. You love the weight room. You love the meeting room. Right? Everything about it, you say, oh, man, this is home.
Yeah,
this is it. I don't need no
difficult.
more. I'm done.
This is where you know, right? That
We'll see what happens.
He knows the recruit.
I'll tell you how great the Raiders are. I don't need to put down other franchises to build the Raiders up. I'm just making a pitch on this is the one. This is home.
See, that's deep. That's deep.
And I'm just saying.
You know,
if I felt weak about it, I'd be, climbing on to don't do this. I don't have to do that.
Well, there's that. There's that.
And the Raiders have always been different. Outside the box. Come on, TP. This is right. This is hitting you in your bloodstream. Come on now.
Well, this is how recruiting is supposed to go.
We'll see what happens. He's got to announce his top 5.
All the mess that you're rejecting about that. What somebody said they call it the WTF team now.
Right.
I call it the whole thing.
Right.
Look, got a progressive owner. Al Davis. Here's a great Al Davis story. As the AFL and the NFL were finally, if some of the listeners, right, the NFL was the established and they did it, and the AFL was the upstart. Just like a lot in a different respect, like these spring leagues are. They're not aiming. They learned their lesson. They're not competing against the NFL. But back in the day, there was room to compete against them. And so they started up the AFL. They're one of their franchises. They sold a different brand of football. They had different colored balls, different rules, more exciting. And the NFL just ignored them. And then finally, as they started getting more and more players, recruiting players out of the HBCUs that the NFL wouldn't take, and they start filling their rosters more diverse, the NFL started to worry about it. And so it finally got to the point where they were competing for the same players. And there's this one game where all the NFL executives, they were determined that this player, I forget who it was, that he was going to go to the NFL and he wasn't going to go to the AFL. Well, Al caught wind of it. And while all those guys are sitting in the locker room waiting for this dude to walk through and put the heavy pitch on him, Al went out to the field. And right underneath the goalpost, he stopped the player. And he signed it to a contract before he went into the locker room. Come on, baby. That's
the right way. Like, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Seal the deal. It's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be nuts. Hey Barry, we've been through this transfer portal frantic off season with college students, and you have the ear and you hear the voices of college students at almost every level and what they're going through. What are the things? What do they say about the transfer portal?
Well, the guys that I'm dealing with, it seems to be more from a practical standpoint. I've had 2 guys that I work with who have hit the portal and are transferred out of schools in this age. One was a former quarterback here at Madison High School. He went down to William Mary, converted to tight end, and was doing really well. Got on the field in the spring game, got on the field, and just one of those guys that was getting on the field and getting playing time and all that stuff. But it came down to money for him. And, he thought he could put enough in, and I think I have the story right. They made it clear that for whatever reason, they weren't going to give him money for this next season, right? That his status there was going to stay. And that kind of forced him to look at something else. And then, like I said, I think I mentioned this, make sure your grades are tight, because he's going to land at Yale. So he's going up to Ivy League and go play tight end for them. And the more I see guys kind of what track they're on, the more I can kind of say, okay, you keep going this direction, this is what's going to happen. And he's a guy that I think he eventually stays healthy. Not that he's injured, but stays healthy. He's tracking to a guy that's going to be playing after college somewhere. So that's one. The other one, at a quarterback, and it's just an unexplainable kind of situation. He was 18-2 as a starter, everything else, and then for some reason, the coaching situation soured on him. Even 18-2 in a conference champion winner, best small college player in the state of Virginia award, all conference, everything. A good guy, and I don't know both sides of the story, but in his case, it was like this is unbearable for me. And so he transferred out, went to another school, and very quickly became not only the starter, but the captain of that team. And he's going to have a great fall. So those are the two that I've seen. The NIL part of it, it seems like most of my guys are still pretty kind of figuring out where they fit into that. I saw something, it's well known, I have a quarterback at Michigan State, and it looks like the team banded together to form something called the NIL Club, right, where the team is going to give digital passes to, people that want behind the scenes content, stuff like that. And then there's some type of shared revenue among all the players that are participating in it. So I've seen that approach from the outside. But most of my guys that's where they are. It seems to be a practical thing. Get me here because of this, not just because I'm pissed off and that type of thing. So that's the level my guys are at right now. That's all I can really say. From a distance, I still think this thing has to shake out. It's a little bumpy right now, right? It seems like it's careening one way. You hear about $1 million figure early on. Now you don't hear about the guy. Then you hear about people setting this up and they're paying for players to come, right? And then, you have individual guys going out. You have guys transferring because now we're including in our recruiting. I think it's kind of careening from one side to the other, but I think the amplitude of those swerves are going to get narrower and narrower, over the next couple of months, next years or so. It'll very much become just part of the game.
We're talking to Barry Thompson. Of course, this hour of sports brought to you by the folks at Ambition Electric. I want to thank Joe Davis and what he does for us and allows us to do. Barry, you just mentioned this NIL club, and I'm going to ask you to dive a little deeper because you are a creative thinker. And if Michigan, if a program in the Big Ten is being proactive in a thing, we want to be curious about it and lean in. What can be done in that space based on what you're hearing Michigan State does? Let's go a little bit further. Repeat what you said about what they're offering at Michigan State.
I just scanned it, and so if I miss a detail, but it seems as if the whole team is presenting themselves to an audience. Most likely their warmest audience is their alumni base and their fans of their program. And they're offering what it said, a limited number of digital passes so that their fans can get behind the scenes content and so forth, which I assume their social media team is doing anyway, right? And so now they're going to provide that content to those people that have these quote digital passes. And it's a team oriented thing. The thing that I like about the shared revenue and the shared approach is that it doesn't divorce the mission of the coaching, which is everything is about the team. So now you're making the NIL about the team too, and everybody can share in that revenue. You talk about creativity. We've always said, collective intelligence is way more effective than individual intelligence. So now you've got the collective of those players viewing that. If you're listening to them and feeding back and adjusting the content off of that, I think you have a greater chance of overall success, and you eliminate what some of the people were worried about, this guy making a ton of money, that guy making a ton of money. Now the team has a vested interest in the presentation of the team, how the team's perceived, right? Now everybody has a vested interest in, hey, I don't want to mess up my money, right? I like that approach. And it's an approach that as they win more and more, their fan base is going to go. So it's tied to the result that you want, which is you want a team approaching winning and presenting themselves in the best light possible, right? And it may even lead to a little bit of players confronting each other if you have somebody that's going off the reservation, say, hey, now you're messing with my money, right? And I like the approach. I like it a lot. I think it's smart.
I think for some of it, and while the powers that be want to stay away from pay for play, right? They want to stay away from that mentality, and they also want to stay away from the money as the reason for accountability, because there should be other priorities above your money. There should be on-field things that players hold each other accountable for. But I like the idea of the team concept. Again, if you just put a magic number out there and said 100 players, it makes it easy for you to deal with donations. It makes it easy for you to deal with distribution. It makes it easy for you to deal with the accounting aspect of it, because the number is simple. You know what you're getting based on what's in the pool, and it allows people outside of the corporate world to contribute and get access to some of this information, right?
Absolutely. You can tell exactly where to direct it. And the other thing, when you think about sports teams, there are individuals that pop up from time to time that become kind of iconic, but one of the reasons that they become that is in the main, and especially in football and, in basketball too, it's their team that consistently wins. You brought this up before versus baseball versus other sports. In baseball, you can have a guy like Tony Gwynn that stands out. Maybe San Diego doesn't do really well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in football and even in basketball to some extent, yeah, definitely. You have your player that you love, but it's a team. And when you think about in our history, those iconic posters, those iconic images, whether it's the Dream Team or whether it's the Bears doing their thing, or going back to that team that's located in the Washington, Maryland area, right? Their presentation of their linemen and things like that. And so this gives an opportunity, and you go back in the NFL way back in the day where these front fours were defined by nicknames like the Purple People Eaters, the Doomsday Defense, and all those things. Now, if you're taking that team approach, you have an aspect of a team that can really bubble and people latch onto it and they're fans of it and they want to send their money. You know what it really reminds me of? On the internet, there's something called a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patreon is really kind of dedicated to you're fans of something. It can be an artist. It can be a guy that produces certain content. And people in the Patreon community will agree to essentially donate money to that person and for something. Some just pure donations, but most of the times they're giving you some content, right? And then there's different levels of it, and I like that, right? Because it's tied to the output. What do you want a college team to do? You want them to be a team. You want them to be competitive. You want them to win, and you want them to behave themselves. And by doing that collective, pushing it all together, it seems like it kills a lot of birds with one stone.
It's all, like I said, it's all interesting stuff, and I love the proactive folks, and I love the proactive approach. With Toward the Break, we'll come back more from Barry Thompson here in this hour, brought to you by the folks from Ambition Electric. We will be right back here to 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs. We are doing our part to help employers fill vacancies during this current labor shortage, graduating students with skill sets employers are seeking. We're also helping to upskill the workforce by adding short-term credentials like certificates in many programs so that employees can get retraining quickly. Learn more about upskilling with SCC at southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Hey, it's Brad Banks of the Nebraska football team.
And they're in New Ely.
Join us this week for Sunday morning pancakes at Lincoln's Pub at 48th and Layton.
Check out the newest brunch in town and bring your friends.
That's this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sunday morning pancakes at Lincoln's Pub at 48th and Layton.
WWE returns with the Lincoln debut of Monday Night Raw, June 20th at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You'll see the return of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. He'll go one-on-one with Seth freaking Rollins.
You're on.
Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair.
The PST.
Randy Orton and Riddle.
RK Bros.
Becky Lynch, and more. Tickets start at $20. Get yours now at Ticketmaster.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll start off the day with sunny skies before cloud cover begins to move into the region. We'll see an afternoon high of 82. A little breezy, south winds gusting over 20. And towards the late afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms expected to move through. Possibly some isolated severe storms. A low tonight down to around 61. We'll be back up to a high of 80 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at Wingstop.com.
Order your Wingstop online at 28th and Superior, 50th and O Street, and 29th and Pine Lake.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to One-on-One. Coach Barry Thompson, brought to you by the folks of Ambition Electric. We have a grill off tomorrow morning, 6 to 10. I have 4 tickets for the Lincoln Salt Dogs and a VIP parking pass for the next person who registers. Yeah, you got to register and show up. When you come up tomorrow, they'll pick up the tickets. Simple deal. Just go to ticketfm.com and say, "Hey, I'm in. Tell me what you're grilling with. Give me a shirt size so you make sure you get your ticket T-shirt. Right? For the winner, there's some cool stuff. Strick just signed something for the winner as well.
Very nice. We also have, shout out to Canopy Street Market, a whole bunch of ground beef and hot dogs.
Yeah. So
and
if you just
hamburger
want to bring your grill
and hot
and
dog
do
buns.
your thing, you can do that too. Right? So if you need extra stuff, we can make the world famous Cosby beef burger dog.
Barry, you trying to get down here for tomorrow?
Well, listen, with all this technology, I do have a ringer out here in Chantilly, Virginia.
Oh,
that if we could hook up a little streaming thing.
Oh,
I'm telling you, just on the not even, we don't have smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
But if you just see what he can put together on a grill.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, can we get an entry for 10? Because I talked to my guy.
I need to get him a shirt anyway. Because he actually sent a video and said, "Hey, I'm in Virginia, but can I still compete?" I was like, brother, oh my goodness, because I've seen his work.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I've seen it. I tested it.
Yeah, he's put it in. He's put it in. But we'll talk about food in the next segment. We know we got plenty of that.
Right.
We know what that is. But again, the grill office tomorrow, 6 to 10 a.m. here in the parking lot here at the Ticket. So we will put those there and put those out. Barry, did you how do I want to put this? Did you get the vibe now from student athletes that they have a better understanding of what NIL is and what they can and can't do with it?
I'm not sure. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's out there, but just the guys I'm dealing with, I'm not sure that they know exactly how it works. Because you're essentially asking them to be a business person, right? And I'm not sure that every football player is a business person just because the stuff is out there. I did witness early on kind of the low-hanging fruit. Somebody was offering something, and it wasn't bad. It was just something, and they would take it, and then now you don't see it anymore. You'll have a few entrepreneurs who are playing football who will figure that out on their own, and they'll be looking toward that long-term type of deal. But in the main, I think most of them are really kind of concerned with, can I get on the field? Can I stay on the field? Can I hold my grades together? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm sure it's a conversation with buddies, but then, somebody needs to pull the trigger for them to understand, because they're not in the main business people, So there's entrepreneurial guys on the teams. There's entrepreneurial guys on campus. And again, I keep taking things way back, but I do that because even though it's a way back example, people are the same. So if you remember back when Notre Dame and Miami were really going against each other, right? There were the convicts versus the Catholics.
Yep.
And there were a group of guys at Notre Dame who made a ton of money just making up T-shirts and selling them.
Yeah.
Right. So there's going to be somebody along the way who kind of figures that out. But no, in the main, none of my players that I know of, at least they haven't told me, maybe they cut the coach out. I don't think that they've figured it out yet, or that they have the inclination to do it. It's going to be somebody, saying, hey, let's kind of like that Michigan State model. There's going to be somebody who says, hey, the 3 or 4 of us, I got this thing that works. You trust me. Let's get going.
Is in the second part of that, the question that I deal with in dealing with student athletes who are coming in and wanting to do shows and wanting to learn the business, but do the parents know and understand NIL?
No, I just, no. I mean, there might be a few sharp ones. Like I know there's, not to out the family or mention, but I know there's a family in Texas who I've been, indirectly connected with through training. And I'm watching them put together something, right? And it's including, NFL quarterbacks. I know how those kind of connections work. And so that's a good example of a young person having a business-minded support system, and the player having enough of a profile in his local area that particular family and that player is taking advantage of that. And where that will go from there, I don't know. But again, I mentioned a lot of things for that to happen, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't something that popped up because of NLI. I happen to know the family, and the family is just a business-oriented family when it comes to just life in general. I mean, their approach. So there'll be people out there like that, and that's set the template. I just don't think, in the main, every player is going to rush out and get himself a deal.
Does that conversation need to happen? Are the resources available? Or does it require somebody with a name and a reputation to handle that? How do we bridge that?
Well, I think the Michigan State model seems to be the one that kind of takes care of it for players, because they only have to do what they're supposed to do, and everybody will make money. So that's the simplest thing, right?
Right.
These other things, you're asking someone to do something extra. Either they have a proclivity to do it, or they're being taught and shown this path. The old adage that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Well, just presenting these guys with opportunities to make money doesn't mean. And then understand too, there's some guys who are lazy. They don't want to do it.
Yeah. True.
You're paying for my books. You're paying for my school. I got my meals. I can lift. I can eat. And I go play football. I don't need any mess, right? So there's an old Mark Twain says a lot of people miss opportunity because it's dressed up in overalls and it looks like work.
Yeah.
Right. So once you present this opportunity, yeah, it sounds good, but then players, okay, what do I do? They're going to give me money? No, you have to go out and do this. Right. So that's the other part. And so the ones where they're just throwing money at it, that's just short-term stuff. That's short money. I don't see how that persists. Right. I don't see how that persists.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned in that there's a much simpler distribution center available for folks and greater impact. But as you said, it requires some work.
Yeah. So there's, yes, the answer is yes. And these players getting money, and I'll draw from another quote. It's from the movie Wall Street. And guys are probably old enough for some of your audience. I don't know your demographics, but there was Wall Street. Michael Douglas character played this raider where he would just go in and grab these companies that were undervalued. He would value them differently so he could get it at a low price. He could break it up in small parts and sell it for more than he bought it for. And he didn't care about the ramifications. And he gets up and makes a speech about greed is good. And then somebody attacks him on it. And he says, essentially, a fool. It says the adage is a fool and his money are soon parted. That's the way that goes. He reverses it and he says the fool and his money are lucky to get together in the first place.
Yeah,
right? So you present players these opportunities to earn money. Even if you give them money, if they don't know what to do with it, then they're going to lose the opportunity. So if you want to be protective of it, if you want to see this collective model seems to be the one. I'll mention one other thing on this thought. Excuse me. There used to be, when a guy was growing up and he wanted to say, I want to be a pro this, pro that, the old folks were right behind that, say, well, you need your education to fall back on. Now, for years, I have been saying if a guy tells me he wants to play professional football, I would say get your education, because when it's time for you to come off the field, if you really love the sport, you'll have a chance to stay in the sport. We are living in an era now where these guys can look up and see multiple examples of guys who have played at a high level and then crossed over and remain in the industry, and in many cases make more money off the court of the field than they have. You have Michael Jordan moving into ownership. A lot of people, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, all those, but cross over. Now you have LeBron, who just became a billionaire. Right?
Yep.
That didn't all happen from basketball. Probably got 300 some million from basketball, 500 million here, 300 million there, or stuff that happened outside of basketball. So now as you look up and you look at this industry and you start to say, they're going to be smarter players, you start to look at that model, right? Instead of the cars and the jewelry and so forth, right? They're going to start to say, okay, how'd that happen, right? And they're going to start picking up the phone, and like LeBron did, and he went to talk to Warren Buffett early in his career, right? He went to hang out with some different people because he said, I want to, this is what I want to do. You know, have Magic Johnson, he always famously always wanted to be a business guy, right?
Yeah.
And, he slowly, through all these things, he found himself there. And now he's an owner and part owner of, I think, two or at least one, in addition to the things. How do I happen? It goes back to what I tell young players all the time about, hey, I'm here and I want to go there. It's like, you better have a plan. You better love it, right? You better have a plan. You better get some expertise, right? You better get some expertise, because if you're sitting here and you need to find out, how do I get to there, right? There's people that know how to get to there. Success leaves hints, right? It leaves hints. It leaves clues, which means that you can watch somebody, watch what they do, mimic it, and get success. I remember one of the funniest things was people used to criticize Kobe because he looked just like Michael. He just I'm like, well, who else is he going to copy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
they would criticize him for copying the best player in the world.
Right.
It's like, y'all are crazy, but play. I was one that I go, really? You're going to criticize him because he does everything like Michael Jordan, but you love Mike, but you anyway. So I think this is in the best of world, CP. It'll get sorted out, and there'll be more players because, especially good players, because good players are intelligent and they're creative, and they're going to start looking at their game a little bit differently. And they've got great examples. It's never been a better time to be a professional athlete if you are looking at the longevity of your career. And I'll quit talking. But a few months ago, people were going back and forth between who's better, Mike and LeBron. And I never entered into it because I was always interested in what LeBron was going to do after he finished playing. Mm-hmm. It was only then that I would judge, because Mike took this to off the court.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He took it to off the court. Magic took this to off the court. So now I think it's myopic to judge somebody. Is Steph Curry the greatest of all time? Yeah, Steph's good. I love the Warriors and all that stuff. But they've raised the bar. Okay, what are you going to do with this, Steph? Are you going to go own a team? Are you going to become a billionaire? Those guys have moved the bar up for me as to what I consider a successful career now.
Yes.
In basketball.
Yeah, Steph has. Steph's in the TV shows, golf courses, golf programs.
Yeah,
Steph is following that. He's in that lane. There's no question that he's already active in his after career. There's that. Before we go to break, we had a question from Joe. Of course, you know Joe from Ambition Electric. He goes, "Will Barry be in Lincoln anytime soon? Would he like to go fishing with me?"
I'd like to go fishing. Yeah, the answer is yes and yes, and won't talk in vague terms. We're going to talk in concrete terms. It's going to be hard this summer because of the football schedule, but now that Joe asked, I'm going to look hard at the July schedule. There's no reason why I couldn't get on a plane and get out there for a day or two.
Yeah.
So let me come back with some firm dates,
yeah,
and we'll make that happen. Love to meet Joe. We'll go fishing. More importantly, Joe, I love to eat the fish. So we can throw some back, but some are hitting that skillet.
There we go. We'll talk about that. We'll find out what Barry Thompson is cooking up next.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Hey, it's Brad Banks of the Nebraska football team.
And they're New Ely.
Join us this week for Sunday morning pancakes at Lincoln's Pub at 48th and Layton.
Check out the newest brunch in town and bring your friends.
That's this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sunday morning pancakes at Lincoln's Pub at 48th and Layton.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
We'll start off the day with sunny skies before cloud cover begins to move into the region. We'll see an afternoon high of 82. A little breezy, south winds gusting over 20. And towards the late afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms expected to move through. Possibly some isolated severe storms. A low tonight down to around 61. We'll be back up to a high of 80 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Andy, I know you have hundreds of new Hondas on the way, but let's talk about your pre-owned inventory.
You know, everyone in Lincoln and surrounding areas know we sell new and pre-owned Hondas, but a lot of people I talk to don't realize that we sell all makes and models.
All makes of imports and domestics, right?
Yes. In addition to Hondas, we sell Toyotas, Nissans, Volkswagens, Kias, domestic vehicles, and we have more than 125 to choose from right now, with fresh trade-ins arriving daily.
Andy, I hear about many people choosing certified pre-owned.
They are, Charlie. It's like buying a new car with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a special low-rate financing. Best of all, the customer can take immediate delivery.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. Omaha's Caitlin Hanna won the Nebraska girls match play title Wednesday, defeating Katie Rouge 3-2 in the championship match at Platteview Golf Club. The title is Hanna's second Nebraska Golf Association championship. With her victory in the 2019 Nebraska Girls Amateur, Hanna is the 7th player to win both NGA titles. The Mike Peterson Coach K American Legion Baseball Tournament continues this weekend. Games will take place through the weekend at Den Hartog Field, Sherman Field, and Densmore Fields 1 and 2. The championship game will take place Sunday. In the Legion Baseball Senior Division, Judd's Brothers defeated Sampson Construction 16-1. Carpetland defeated Anderson Ford 2-1, and Grand Island defeated Aurora 9-5. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, presented by Beatrice Bakery on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment, one-on-one on a Thursday with Barry Thompson, brought to you by the folks from Ambition Electric. We also, to get him out here so he can fish with Joe Davis, but also we need to get him out to Mary Ellen's. Barry would, he would post up at Mary Ellen's. Mary Ellen's is his kind of place. Yeah.
Hey, with Mary Ellen, he's Louisiana. He's a Louisiana guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we gotta ship in some fresh crawfish and get after it. I mean, I had nothing to say about what he's cooking. I see what he's putting down. But we gotta, if we're gonna get together, we talk about getting some fresh crawfish in and getting after it a little bit.
I guarantee you Barry finds himself in the kitchen at some point.
Oh, Charles would absolutely
100%.
Charles would absolutely engage in that.
Just swapping recipes and talking about, okay, why do you do this? What's this?
They'd be
throw a little bit of this.
They'd be best friends by lunchtime.
Well, you know what? I'm a little more settled than that. I would just watch and copy. That's what I do.
Well,
so I'm not. Whatever he does that works, that's to tell you the truth, that's really how I kind of cook. I have an eye for a recipe that would taste really good and one that I could execute. And then I'm that guy. Like I go boom, boom, boom. It says a quarter teaspoon, it's a quarter teaspoon, and I do that and execute it. So if I've seen his food, I would just watch what he does and then I'd take it home and copy it.
It's in all the years of coaching and running together, there are two things that are commonly said between Barry and I. One, I will tell him take the layup, which is do the basic, easiest thing. And then I would say copy success. Like Barry go, well,
Yeah.
what are we going to call? Let's just copy success. Like whatever we did didn't work. Like and it's such a basic thing, but
it works.
You can tell you amongst coaches, it's not that common.
Yeah. It was so funny, DP, you mentioned that, and I get sidetracked, but I was listening, and the USFL, you can hear calls, and you can sometimes you'll hear the coaches, and there was a coach, I think it was Mike Riley, he did it. Yeah, Mike Riley did it.
Yeah.
He called trio, I think it's trio left, and what was the thing? I forget, doesn't matter. Trio left, let's call it Butter 22. And it went. And he goes, well, let's flip it. Because trio right, Butter 24.
Right?
Or whatever he did. Just ran it the other way. And it made me laugh.
No, it's just that would be like, we'd get on a roll and he'd look down,
Yeah.
What are we running? Same thing, man. I run the same thing. What are we, Coach?
We're going to Copenhagen, Denmark. So in Denmark, among, the food's a little bit different. There's a dish. I'll spell it first. It's SMORRE and then BROD. I think it's pronounced smørrebrød. And smørrebrød means just butter and bread. It's an open-faced sandwich. So it starts with this dense, kind of dark rye bread, and you put butter on it. And that's how these smørrebrøds start. Now, the one that I made this week was a shrimp smørrebrød. And so into a bowl, there was about a tablespoon of mayo, half a tablespoon of sour cream. I had about 6 pieces of, cooked and defrained shrimp. I sliced those in half, so you want 12 pieces. Those go in. A good little squeeze of lemon or some type of acid. Some recipes call for white vinegar. A good squeeze of lemon, and then this is really technical, a handful of dill, about a quarter cup of dill went in there. You mix that all around. That goes on top of that bread. You add a few little pieces of red onion, and then it's topped with. I topped it with a thing called tabiko. It's don't send your people the other way, but it's a small, tiny kind of fish egg that's all bright orange. It's just for coloring. It's really sweet. There's nothing fishy about it. It was really good. And I'm sorry, and I had a soft-boiled egg on the bottom. So hard-boiled egg. Uh-huh. So hard-boiled egg went over the butter, then everything went on top of that. It was pretty good. We tried it a second time. Instead of the hard-boiled egg, we had a layer of cucumber, and then put everything on top. It was really good. These things are, they're amazing, and they're really, really good. You can't eat them with your hand because they'll just fall off. So you wind up eating with knife and fork. Couple rules to them. Your portions should be generous enough that none of the bread shows.
Right.
And then they have different versions. So the one that I made is kind of a taller version. There's a name for that. And those are more related to a more formal occasion, a holiday, maybe you're going out. And then there's more of an everyday version. If you think like the same butter, bread butter, maybe roast beef on top, a little bit of horseradish, a little bit of sour cream, and some pickles, like that would be a flatter version. Which is the more everyday. But these smørrebrød, they're like, once you put the butter on the bread, it becomes like an artistic canvas. They have categories of it: meat, seafood, and then cheese, which I haven't done yet. And if you were to Google it, you would see amazing different types. The other one that we tried was herring and sour cream. Right? I hadn't added pickled herring before, but herring and sour cream. Added a little bit of sour cream to it to make it wet. Again, the bread, the butter, the sour cream, a few pieces of kind of shaved red onion or shallot, and then a little bit of parsley on top. Absolutely, unbelievably delicious.
Now we're all hungry. Job well done. Job well done. So I'll be waiting, Barry. I'll be waiting for the formal Las Vegas Raiders recruitment.
Okay. Well,
package.
We'll get you a package.
Yep.
And before we get off, don't forget my guy, Ty. We need to get him involved. He needs a picture. Can he post a picture?
Yep.
Maybe somebody in Arkansas listens to you. Can they post a picture
Yep.
of them grilling that day or something?
Yep. Grills all around
All
the
right.
country. All over the place.
All right.
All right. And
All
let Ty know. Shirts on the way. That is Barry Thompson. Brother, appreciate you. Love you. Love what you do, man. And we'll talk next week.
Hey, thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
That is one-on-one with Barry Thompson on a Thursday. Sets the tone for the captain. Up next, Rashawn Jackson. He came in hot this morning, so I expect a pretty good show today.
I kind of already know where this is going to go.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere. Good stuff's coming.